Alrighty guys, we are heading to the property. It is Easter Sunday. It's 12 o'clock. While I got the time, I am going to shoot down there and get this tree stand hung. I've been trying and I've been getting delayed with getting the pool ready and everything, but that's all done. So we're gonna get this tree stand hung, couple limbs trimmed out, and then I can leave it for the whole summer. But that's about it. It is 80 degrees outside. We're in Central Virginia. I'll see you when we get down there. You guys have seen this field in my videos where we had the blind up over this way. There's a tree stand over here. All right, when we get up here where I pull over to get down in the woods, I will show you. The blind used to be right down in here. You can see that hump right there. That's where we used to have the blind. I think we're going to move it down by the creek this year instead. Let's just mosey here and I'll turn you back on when we get down by the field where I go in. If I come to hunt this spot in the morning, you see the surveying markers, I would follow that down this ridge and then hook to the left to the tree stand, because you got the field up ahead of us here where they may be crossing at the bottom, you know, of this trail right at the field, or coming out of the field to get into this bottom. As you see, it drops down right here, and I'll show you the lay of the land once we get down there, why I'm picking that spot. But they like coming up out of this here, cutting across, crossing this road here and going down into the bottom, you know, for bedding. Or they come up out of it for evening, to come up to this field here, or the one we just drove through. They'll cross this during 2 o'clock in the afternoon and sit in these pines until closer to dark, and then go out in that field back there. So we'll see. We're going to plant some food plot up here in this field this year and see how that goes. You guys seen this this spot here. I've parked up here and shown you videos. This is that one field, the other one there. All this land is good. I love it. But that's the view you got from here. We will go right up here to like one of these pine trees, I think it is, cedar trees, and go in the woods there. As you see, it still drops off really steep down into this bottom. I believe it's right by this cedar tree here I go in at. I'll have to take a look again. I forgot. I have to really mark it. I'm not going to mark it real good, but I'm definitely going to mark it. And I'm going to spray down because ticks and chiggers are, yeah, right here. This is where they come up out of. And if you take this down and just veer a little to the right, that's where the tree stand will be. They walk this hillside, they walk up in here. So we're going to do a food plot up on this hill here. You can see a tree stand in that tree over there. I don't know if you can see it on the GoPro, but there's a tree stand in there for this field. But I like being down in the woods, at least, you know, 50 yards, 75 yards down in the woods, where you get the bucks walking along the edge of the woods during daylight. But that's it. And there's water down there, water source. So I'll move up a little bit more and I'm going to spray down with that cancer causing off and go from there. Hold on. All right, you guys could call me a little overboard with this, but I spray my socks up my legs and then my boots. So if they go to climb up my boots, it'll deter them a little bit. I used to put the pants inside the boots, but I found all the debris would fall down in them and I'd end up branches and everything else inside my boots. So now I go over them, then spray my pants real good. Last thing I want is chiggers or ticks. Yeah, I gotta get stock in this stuff. I go through so much of it, especially if we fish on the bank or somewhere. Not too much out here because I'm pretty much done walking around. but definitely fishing or whatever. Got the Sawzall. I'll bring an extra battery and a machete. I'm not going to trim the trail too much going down. I'll wait till I put all this down by where the tree's going, and then I'll work my way back up. It really doesn't need much. I've already been in there during the winter. So, all right, let's head down. You can see here the trail comes down right along here, goes right up that way to the Jeep, and there's trails that cut across also. But this is one of the main ones that come up from the bottom. But this one comes right down. You can see it plain as day right here. And there's another one. And this is the bottom down here. It's getting thick. And here is the other trail right here. This is that surveying trail. You can see one of the orange strips up there. They like to walk down that. And right here, it's going to come down this way and cut across. So they come right here, and this is the bottom where they walk. There's a trail right here. This is where I want to put the tree stand. I'm going to take a look around first. I'm going to put this at the base of the tree and take a look around. All right, you got a heavy trail, comes down right here, cuts across and goes across up that way. There's an oak flat. See all the pines up there? There's an oak flat up there. This is a ridge right here. Another ridge here. Here's a creek bottom here. Creek bottom goes up that way. This is that flat where the field is up along here. So they come down this hill right here, come down here, cut across this bottom in here, all through here. This one here isn't bad, but I'd have to trim out so many branches because we're going to be all the way up there. So I'd have to trim all these lowers just to get a shot here. You're not going to get much of a shot back that way. I'm wondering how far of a shot if I put it up in this oak tree right here, because this is a nice wide open bottom. Here's the trail right here. You can see where they're coming down that hill. See it right there? That's where they come down right there, cut across here, and then go into here. Creek bottom's right here. You got trails here. I had a nice buck come down this ridge right here, walked up this way, meandered right around there. I think I was right up in there by those trees. So it was about a 25-yard shot with the bow. But you can see how thick it is here. You're not going to get much of a shot. If you're up in the tree there, you get a shot. I got to take a look. I'm hoping over this way. Let me take a look around. All right, guys, this was the original tree, but this is one section. The other section's just as tall. It's going to put me up at that thick guy right there. This GoPro doesn't do it justice. I could trim all these limbs, but you would have to rotate the stand pointing this way to get around that knuckle. You got a trail, real heavy trail right here. The one there, I'd be pointing up the tree, up the thing. You do have a trail up here, which from that oak over there with a bow is going to be a tough shot. You could do it, but it'd be a little bit tough with the thickness. I don't want to clear it out. And that doesn't have as much cover. I like all the cover on this tree, really beds you in. But I also don't like being on something there. You're eye level with this trail right here. And yes, you are below them over there, but you've got a little bit more distance. But there's a lot of trails off of here. They come this way, and you have the other one this way, one on the other side over there. So I'm thinking that's going to be a central. We're going to put the tree stand there. Hold on while I move it. I'm looking around because I don't like being right. I mean, that trail is right. Let me turn you around. Hold on. That trail is right here. The one comes down, cuts across right here. And that's where I'm at. But there's no other except for that one back there. And then I'm going to have to trim all this. The wind is dominantly this way in my face if I sit here. That's why I'm trying to get on this side of the trail. If I get on that side, normally it's blowing up the creek this way. I'm trying to get on this side of the trail. And if I come in on that markers, I'll be coming down off this hillside, cut right across by this dead tree right here. And get in this way. That way, if something's coming this way, at least they won't smell me till they get to about right here. I should be ready. I do have some cover up there. I'm going to leave that tree. Alrighty, before I get up there, I tied the center brace to hold your ladder straight. And I did the crisscross with these straps behind the tree, which go up to each corner. So I'll hold it fairly good before I get up to do the ratchet, which I have to get all the way up there. Hopefully, if it goes to fall, I could grab that vine. I have fallen out of them before with them twisted around the tree by undoing this first. Unfortunately, I learned the hard way. All right, let's get up there. Alrighty, we're up here. I'm gonna have to trim out one or two of those right there. Maybe one on the side of that. I got a clear shot up through there. Perfect. Right through there. Good shot here. I'm gonna have to trim a limb there. Here, I gotta trim this guy off. So I get a shot there, take that guy out, get a shot there. This way, this is my weak side. So it's gonna be tough. That's why I love a saddle. I use a saddle majority of the time. On something like this, I normally come up first, hook the saddle on, swing around, put my feet on the back there. So from here, I may trim a couple out there so I have a shot underneath that down tree. Alrighty, got a shot through there. Actually, right through there. Shot through there. I got an opening there for that trail. If I lean forward just a little, I got a shot right here. Shot there all the way out to that down tree. Shot here. Right out in that opening. It's about as much. I'm not going to clear that. That way if they come up behind me, I got a little protection. Alright, you got a trail here. Comes down off this finger. And there's another trail that runs right there. And there I am there. From over here, there I am there. I can't reach that upper one. I could trim this end off here, but that's it there. This is that bottom. Here's that scrape or rub. But they go up this way. You can see right there where they're going up that way, and they go up this way, walk along the edge of the hardwoods. They like the edges. Hardwoods to thicket. They like to walk along. That way they have a quick escape route. Same with the pines. Pines down here to thicket. They could jump across this thicket, get up through the hardwoods to escape danger. That's why I'm picking this bottom. I could probably go, if you go up this way, maybe 50, you can almost see, there's a little bit of daylight. You can see way up there, there's an oak flat. Might be a half acre in the middle of pines. How it got there or how long it's been there, who knows. So they're definitely using that. And you imagine they'd be coming down. I've seen a lot down here, seen a lot on this ridge over here. So I like this spot. Plus there's that fields and the crossover up top like I showed you on the road. All right, let me set up the camera. All right, here's my spy point. I'm just setting it up. I put the stick behind it because the tree, if you notice, is slanting backwards. So I want to get it almost level. And I went low. I don't normally go this low. I normally am up about eye level, shooting down, maybe at a food pile or something. We can't bait them here, but you can feed them during the summer to just see what's around. And that kind of hits one area, but I don't want. I want to shoot straight across in case they cross over. Alrighty guys, we are back up in the Jeep. Here's the field. It's a pretty good hike up that hill. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. That's just me babbling on what I like to do, setting up tree stands. I'm not even sure how much I'm going to hunt it, but I enjoyed putting them in and have the opportunity to come out here and do some hunting. I didn't do that much last year, as much as I normally do, but this year maybe I will. We'll see. All right, get back with you.